Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video. And yes, sorry to say, I'm just gonna reiterate, Superalloy Darkshine will be in the wheel. Nothing has changed. We've confirmed that again with the publisher. Yes, we have brought it up with the publisher, the fact that if you're in the United States, you can't purchase anything. They are fully aware of that, and nothing is changing. They are following the way the CN server had released, and that character came in the wheel. Yes, I know C did not have it in the wheel, but we're not C, and we don't have any say. So sadly, that's how it's going to be. The good news, though, is most likely this game is going to have end of service April 5th, if nothing changes. So you're not really going to be missing out on anything. So that's the good news. So look at it that way. Long term, it's not going to be detrimental to your account because you're not going to have an account. So yeah, that's how we got to look at it. But why do people care about this character so much? Well, on its face, he's a grappler, hero. The roles they classify for the character are shield, fortifier, and anti-reflect, and that will become very clear in a second. Well, the basic attack for this character, which, as I say every time I do these, we don't care about, deals 120% attack to a single target. So there we go, done, over with. The ultimate, though, attacks enemies in a row with 4 consecutive strikes, dealing damage by 120% max HP, grants himself specialized guard by 150% of Superalloy Blackluster's max HP. What does that mean? Yes, like all your other tanks, HP, all your gear is going to be geared to that. To me, drive is the best set for him. That's personally because you want this character to just never move off the field. But again, as long as you're going HP percent, that is always going to be your best bet. Now, the passive. When battle begins, grants the entire team 55% shield rate, lasts 3 rounds after receiving fatal damage, revives with 20% max HP at most 2 times. Yeah, there's the shield rate that was talked about earlier. And of course, you have your awaken passive. When battle begins, grants the whole team specialized damage reflect. Reduce direct damage and extra damage by 40%. Reflects 40% of the original damage back to the attacker. Lasts for the whole battle. Pretty good stuff. Now we can take it a step further and see why you want to level this character up if at all possible. The ultra ultimate damage by HP percent goes from 120% to 160%, so you get a 40% increase. Pretty cool there. Specialized guard goes from 150% to 200%, which is just crazy. And the S guard for allies in the same row. Now, the extreme passive, the shield rate goes up to 65%. You get a 10% increase, and it now lasts 4 rounds versus 3. All reasons why you're wanting to buff up this character and really maximize it. The 5P passive, though, even takes it a step further. Your shield rate now goes to 75%. So now you're getting a 20% total increase on shield rate, which is just crazy. And it now lasts 5 rounds. So half your battle. Pretty nuts. And then your revives go to 3x times versus 2x. All just crazy stuff, and that's what makes it worth it. Now, your Awaken 2, which is also optimal for this character, the damage reduction goes to 60%. You get a 20% increase. The reflect goes to 60%. Nuts. And grants the whole team specialized berserk. First strike will also deal berserk damage by 50% of Superalloy Blackluster max HP with a chance of crit. Lasts the whole battle. I mean, that is absolutely nuts when you think about that for an OC 2. One of the better ones out there, and really worth it if at all possible, if you can do that. In seeing those differences, basically, just in the passive alone with the shield, that you go from 55 to 65, 65 to 75 is just absolutely nuts. Now, how are you going to be building out this character's teams? Well, you're not going to see a lot of differences. Of course, he's going to flourish with Drive Knight. Those two pair very well together. You're going to see a lot of Metal Knight with this character. You're going to see either Phoenix Man or Mel's, mattering on what your type of team setup is. If you go a more DPS centralized setup, you might be looking at DSK, at least at the moment right now, or Glory Boss, or you can tank it out more. You can still keep PPP in there with your Metal Knight and just wreak havoc on the other side of the field, given the mechanics of this game and how shitty two of the mechanics are that allow things to happen in it that we will not talk about in this video, because honestly, I moaned about it over a year ago. It's never going to change, so I'm not going to say another word. Leave it at that. But it is crazy. It's going to be long battles. We're back to that MO. It's already started with Metal Knight. I really can't stand these super long battles. It's just so boring to me, but it's a reality. The metas will come and go and change. But in the end, yeah, it's a solid character. Now, given that the character had been on wheel, and if it was, this game wasn't going to be heading into EOS in April, I would have said if you can afford to get them, it's worth getting. If you can't, don't fret, UR's around the corner, which is true. We should have our first UR basically in March, and we'll get our second in April, just days before the shutdown of the game. So yeah, you know, it is what it is at this point, guys. They're not able to do anything more. I have no faith that a resolution is going to come unless they find a new publisher, which hasn't even been hinted at, or they decide, which have suggested, that to leave the game up and put some sort of method on the website to recharge, have the APK available readily, just like the C server does. I think they have 5 different recharge methods on their website, as well as the APK is kept on there for the C version. If they did that for this version, you know, would it be worth it? I don't know. The game doesn't make a lot of money. It averages 200K a month. It just might not be worth it to them in the end, because the game is not generating tons of money. Yes, it's low cost, but it's just, that might be just too much to even justify it, because if they don't get enough purchases through the recharge website, even though they should make more than Google Play or Apple through that means, it might not be enough to offset. Plus, again, it's been brought up. They've talked about it supposedly, but I've heard no more, and I'm not going to hold my breath. Sadly, if this game was making millions of dollars, they would be running around trying to figure something out, but it doesn't, so they probably won't. So sadly, guys, we'll probably have another closure video in April, and at that time, it will be forever goodbye, let's say. But until then, yes, Superalloy is really good, and if you get them, have some fun with them for 45 days, and then it's gone. So there you go. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.